It would have obviously had to been pretty bad after that second period for you to come out of a game like that. How are you feeling right now?
I feel getting back to normal. Yeah, it's just an unfortunate set of circumstances, and that's the game we play.
Just emotionally knowing that, you come out and then, see Markey go in, and unfortunately, we don't know exactly what's going to happen here, but that has to be tough too.
Yeah, I feel terrible for him. Obviously partially my fault, so take sort of responsibility for it. But again, it's the game we play. There's a lot of variables out there, and I reiterated how bad I feel for him right now, and we're hoping he's going to be back real quick here.
Jake, was it leg cramping, and at what point did you kind of feel that?
Just bodily cramping.
Right?
Yeah.
Was it a coach's decision, your decision, kind of collaborative?
Yeah, collaborative. Yeah, everything's got to run through the medical staff. So.
What do you know about this group in moments like this where, Markey does go down and you're back there and the full confidence that everyone has in you, but just as a group collectively rallying, right?
Yeah.
You've done it a lot last year.
It's hockey. We have the same questions every year. We're going to lose a lot more guys throughout the season. It's just the game we play, and I've been in this situation numerous times, and it's another chance for me to go out there and get more games, especially early in the season. Obviously, I've only played a little bit here, so it's another chance for me just to get my feet wet and get going and build something here. And I think we finished off the road trip obviously on the right foot, and looking forward to having our home opener feels longer than anticipated than usual years for some reason for me, but so I know everyone's looking forward to tomorrow.
What have you liked about the way the team has defended, particularly these last two games?
Yeah, I think it was good for us to play a team like Carolina the first game. I know the result wasn't what we wanted, but it opens your eyes. They were ready to go and they were ready to rock, and obviously we didn't have our best stuff, but obviously our games progressed on that trip. So I think to be able to get a game and a test like that right out of the gates is good for us. And, it's building. You can't expect perfect right away. I know it's a chaotic league and a lot of things that go on, but I think that was one thing we reiterated. Don't expect perfect right away and try to build over that trip, and I think we succeeded.
Just your confidence level in Nico Daws and what you've seen from him over the years.
He's a good goalie. He's played a lot of NHL hockey games. He's played a lot more games than a lot of other goalies in the league. So he should have all the confidence in the world. He's a really good kid. He's a good person. He's paid his dues, and I've been in that shoes before, and he's a good goalie. He's going to get his chance at some point. I've said that to him. It's a matter of time. Opportunity is always different for people in this league, and he'll be good for us.
Thank you. Sure, you necessarily think you're going to get that call up this early in the season. Unfortunately, in a way, that's sort of where we are. Just your initial thoughts of coming up here.
Yeah, obviously I hope Markey's okay, and hope he's not out long term. But it's always good to be back here. Try to help contribute any way I can, and just enjoy the experience.
How much do you rely on that past experience of getting those calls? Sometimes you're here a long time. How much do you rely on that experience?
Yeah, I think it's important, mentally for myself, just to know that I've been here before and I've done it. And, I'm a better goalie now than I was in previous years. So, what's to say I can't continue to get better. And, like I said, I have a lot of confidence right now. I love where my game's at. So, yeah, I feel good.
What is it about your game that you feel so confident in right now that, you say that, right?
Yeah, I just feel, there's the little tweaks we made over the summer and, throughout training camp just, helps me feel like I'm ready all the time. I'm very connected to the play. Just when you get confidence as a goalie, you try to hold on to it as long as you can, and I still got it right now, so that's good.
Is that a mental thing when you talk about the connection to the play and all? Is that more working on the mental side of it? Or
it's a little bit of both. I mean, trying to physically be ready at all times because, you never know what's going to happen, and little plays end up in, sometimes in the back of your net. So you got to be ready all the time. But, definitely mentally for me, staying engaged in the game and not letting my brain wander and just, stay to control what I can control. That's what I tell myself throughout the game. Have fun and control what I can control.
Is that done through mental exercises? Is that kind of?
Yeah, it's just I tell myself that between almost every whistle. I'm constantly talking
Really?
to myself. Yeah, have fun, compete, and control what you can control.
And you felt that that growing that part of your game has really helped you.
Yeah, 100%. It just when you don't feel confident or you're not always going to have your A game.
Yeah.
just talking to yourself and calming yourself down kind of, brings you back down to reality and just focus on what you can do next.
What you said was interesting before, but you want to have that confidence and hopefully be able to get on a run here. That's something that Jake was just talking about. Is that he's excited for you in the sense that your confidence is high and that's what he told you. You never know what's going to happen. You gotta roll with it.
Yeah, exactly. They've Marky, Jake, they've both been great to me, and they give me little tidbits of information, and it does really help from guys that have been here for so long and have done it at such a high level for so long. It's good. I try to pick up information wherever I can and use that.
This is obviously going back a couple weeks now, but I'm just curious your vantage point on what the waivers process was like for you. I think that was the first time you've had to pass through that. What was that 24 hours like?
Yeah, it was interesting. I didn't really know what to expect. It was a long 24 hours. Happy to be in the organization. Obviously I don't, it's the situation is a situation. But yeah, I love it here and, have that next man up mentality and go down to Utica and, work as hard as I can and try to win some hockey games down there.
Thanks, Nico. Appreciate it. With the obvious there, not having Marky and Nico Daws up here, do you have an update on him right now?
Yeah, Marky's gonna miss a couple of weeks. Probably. We don't. I consider it good news based on what had happened. I don't consider it to be too serious at this point, but he's going to have to miss a little bit of time.
Obviously, that's a real tough blow for this team, but you've been here before in a sense, and what do you know about this team and how they rally around moments like this?
Yeah, I mean, we've got depth at goal. Jake Allen's been tremendous, played great the other night, and he himself, we're expected to bounce back just fine. He had good practice today, and Nico Daws played great for us last year, so that's. I'm not too concerned about that, and it's just going to keep focusing on our game, for the guys who are playing in front of whoever's in net.
I saw you before practice out there working with that top line, Jack, Pally, and Bratter. What were you trying to sort of get out of that, just working alone one-on-one with them?
More so just kind of using the ice that we had and spreading the guys out a little bit and giving more touches to them. It was all pretty much the same themes going on both sheets of ice. It was just trying to spread the guys out a little bit and give more touches, to our guys, with that group. So that was really it, just allowing us to use the space.
How impressed have you been, Sheldon, with the way the team has defended, particularly these last two games? Defended as a whole unit.
Yeah, I think we've done a good job, for sure. Tampa game especially. Columbus, I thought we did a good job as well. We defended hard, and I thought we just defended too much. We didn't break out nearly as efficiently as we did in Tampa. Credit to Columbus's forecheck and all that, but we've got to do a better job of managing that, stay out of the box, all those kind of things that can give our game more life. But yeah, no issues with how we defended for the most part through those two games.
What did Markstrom injure?
Sorry?
What did Markstrom injure?
It's lower body.
Yeah.
And what about Nemitz? How have you liked the way he has looked these first three games, defending-wise?
I think he's done okay. I think in terms of the defending, I think he's done a good job of it. I think there's little mistakes with the puck that I think have kind of put him in some bad spots that have hurt him defensively a little bit. But I don't think it's necessarily the act of the defending. It's managing the puck and just making good decisions with it. All stuff that you deal with young players. But I think, for the most part, he's done a good job of using his feet, skating, and helping the attack offensively. And to me, we've seen progress in his game, which is what you're looking for. As with any young defenseman, I would put Luke in the same category. You're going to have mistakes that are going to pop up, and you're working through things at the NHL level that normally are fixed at the AHL level. But when the talent dictates that you belong in the NHL, you're going to have to work your way through these things, and that's what I would say about them.
And now that you're short or down one goalie, is there any concern at all over the cramping issue here with Jake Allen?
Well, I wouldn't. I mean, you're aware of it, and you're making sure you're doing the right things. But I would say I'm not concerned, just simply because it's something. It's not new. Jake's dealt with it his entire career and managed it. Last season it was a thing as well, but it didn't necessarily affect his play to that degree. So I would expect he'd bounce back, and like I said, it's something he's dealt with his entire career. It's very common with goalies. A lot of people don't know it just because of the amount of sweating that goes on. But for the most part, they have a pretty good handle on it. So we look at it as a bit of a one-off at this point.
What can you say about Timo's start to this season?
I think he's been great. think he's played with confidence offensively, but he's just done a lot of little things really well. I thought the game in Columbus especially was as complete a game as I can recall for quite a while for him on both sides of the puck, just details of his game, doing things to help his line work offensively and defensively, connecting his line to the next line on line changes, like all these sorts of things that are very small details that we ask for from our players, but they're a big deal. From my opinion, our philosophy of how we want to play, and wanting to see Timo take a step in that area, and he showed some very positive signs in that direction last game.
Similarly with Jack, what have you thought of his start to the season?
I think he's still finding his way here offensively. I liked the way he defended in games 2 and 3, which quite honestly was more of my concern. Just getting him back into that mold. The offensive stuff is going to come. The more touches he gets, an attack in the middle of the ice, all that kind of stuff. But as I said, he made some real good adjustments in games 2 and 3 defensively. I know he gets stripped there for the breakaway, against. But, defensively without the puck, I really liked his game, and the offensive stuff is going to come with each game.
Not to reflect too much on last season, but something we talked about a lot was maybe some of the fluctuations in how this team played here at home. So anticipating coming up tomorrow, how important it is to defend home ice, and what are maybe some of the key details that make it different playing here versus on the road?
Yeah, what are the differences and nuances? I think when you come home, sometimes there can be a natural comfort with that can, work negatively towards your game. We want to get out and attack home ice and attack the game and get control of the game. We just played in 3 buildings that are very hard to play in. 3 of the best road teams in the NHL, and with all 3, I would say that's what they do. They come out and grab a hold of the game and come at you, and they dictate play. I thought we managed it well in Tampa, not as well in Carolina or Columbus. But it's a lot of the same things that we're looking for. We touched on it briefly today. We touched on it a lot through training camp. And the fact that we started on the road, and feel good about our game. We got to keep building on that and not, it's going to be easier now, especially with the opponent we have coming in. So lots of reasons for us to be sharp tomorrow and really start to display our identity that we want to have here in any building, but especially this one.
Sheldon, how are some of the younger guys doing? Kovacevic, Casey, Mason?
All guys are on the ice and progressing. Kovacevic, nothing has changed in terms of his timeline. He's not even in the picture for months. Nason is getting very close, getting him the practice reps today as a forward, getting back to that. We're putting him more, I would say, in the day-to-day type status right now. Casey's back on the ice and progressing. Lamico, same kind of thing. McEwen's going to miss, a good chunk of time with an upper body injury. So yeah, the names are piling up, but some are not far away from getting back.
So Nason's a no for tomorrow. Right?
He practiced. The intent today practicing was that he was not going to be available tomorrow. We haven't necessarily ruled it out. It's going to see how you get through the day. If you wake up tomorrow and you're feeling really great and ready to go, then we'll address it at that time. But as of right now, he's not in tomorrow.
Is there something you need to see more from Hallinan to remain in that bottom 6 and do what he does?
You gotta. Anytime you're a scorer at the at the American League level, you gotta. If you're going to be a scorer, you gotta find ways to produce offense. So there's that part of it. You gotta find ways to produce and get scoring chances and all of that. And if you're not doing that, then the rest of your game just got to be so solid defensively, breakouts, plays on the wall. So he's just got to develop an identity of what he's going to be in the NHL. There's a long list of AHL players that have tremendous numbers offensively, and they just cannot put it together at the NHL level. So then it's, okay, what do you do? How are you going to play in the league? And I think Halo's kind of in that. He's in that spot. We talked a bit coming out of training camp and just some of the details of his game that that the offensive stuff, and maybe not about scoring, but it's about continuing to play, making passes, not having plays die on your stick. Like that kind of stuff is what you're looking for to see if a guy is going to be able to play in offensive situations at this level. And then if not, then you got to be extremely physical, extremely dialed in defensively. So those are the kind of things that you're looking for, and it's hard to do. We get it. You don't get a lot of opportunity. You don't get a lot of minutes. Like you got to find a way to do that. Training camp and preseason are more of an opportunity to do so. But for some players, and I would put Halo in this category, it takes time, and you got to kind of find your way through it. But you're here. You're in the building. You're in the room. You're on the ice. You're getting an opportunity. So make the best of it.
Thank you, Sheldon.
Thanks, Sheldon.